Right, so today's video is about the Bulette, which is an underground monster that bursts out of the ground. Right, so the Nolzur allows you to separate it. I will glue it afterwards. We will paint the base first. We're going to start with some Steel Legion drab, and then we're going to paint the Bulette's flesh. All of these raised scales or things. We're going to start with Zindra's Dust, and then we are going to use Magrex Earth Shade as a wash. But that's all we really need to do. So it's just going to be a a dry brush. Nice, quick, easy, light coating. All over our base. Where we just want to cover it, where this creature's just burst out of the ground. Which will be the start of our layers. And here's the base done. Nice and easy, quick. We'll do a second layer for some of these finer details. And then on to the Bulette's main body, which again is just going to be rough. Which we don't need to worry about getting over the chitinous armour, because we're going to go over it anyway. Don't really need to paint all the way down to the end, because a lot of this is going to go into the base, but might as well just cover it. Make sure we get all of the cracks and crevices. And there we have it, nice, easy, done. Which next we will wash it. So just like with all of our dry brushing, we just want a little bit on the end of our brush, or a bit more than that, which will mix into our palette, and then we just go over nice and roughly, get into all of these cracks. Don't need to go all the way over to the end here, because that's where obviously the flames are going to change colour. But as long as we get all of the feathers, which is the important bit, because that is what we want, is the purple. This is a fairly ambitious colour palette, obviously, because, you know, it's not the standard reds and oranges and things for flame. But there it is. We will flip it over and do the opposite side, but that's one week. And the other, after we've done this, we will wash it with like a Drucci Violet. Actually, no, we won't. We will, dry brush it with Xeris Purple, and then we'll wash it with Drucci Violet. And there we have it. All of the all of the details and everything else got in all of these cracks and crevices. Which is the plan. The body also has armour, which we will go onto the back. There is sort of like a picture online on the Critical Role website of it, like having sort of like a chest piece, but I quite like the armour. I'm not going to like permanently attach to the head, but I might. But I am going to paint it and just sort of like have it. You can sit it and remove it, but I will permanently attach the other armour pieces. So we'll start with start with lead belcher, which again is just going to be a light brush. Right. So with the dirt now dry, we're going to start doing a bit of dry brush of Gawthorpe Brown. We've shrunk down to a smaller brush. Which we're just going to start lightly no, it's not very good. Right. It's not the right colour. So, what you do, when you've messed up with the colour, it's very simple. You just need to dab it with a bit of a blue roll. Kitchen roll. So this is better, this is much more earthy. Actually, no, it's not. What we want is, on the lower levels, we want a nice dark brown. So what I'm going to do, because obviously topsoil is quite dark, so what I'm looking for is my Rhine oxide. There we go. So Rhine oxide, which can be on the layer of topsoil, and then we'll build up to brighter colours on the inside as well, where it's burst out. We'll do some lighter colours. That's better. So we're just going to, not these burst bits here, we're just going to do around the base here, like this. And down around the front here. Then on the inside, where the creatures burst out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some ushabti bone for a bit of sort of like clay type colour. Which we're just going to brush lightly. Inside there are some rocks as well, which I will paint grey at the minute, but we're just going to just do the inside. Which, just take our time, nice and lightly. I'll do a couple of layers of this, and then we'll be right back. With the Bulette's scaly flesh, what we're going to do is we're going to do some Steel Legion drab to bring it up, because it's slightly lighter than the Zendri dust, and it will work nicely. So again, we just lightly dry brush over, just to cover the scales. That's what we want to do. So we'll do a couple of layers of that, and we'll move on to the next. Right, so that's the main body done. Just with a nice layer of Steel Legion drab. Next we're going to do Cantor Blue, very similar to how I did, if you look at my Vox Machina painting tutorial, just how I did Trinket. Because he has Armour of a Bulette as well, so obviously we'll keep them identical. Not that they'll ever meet each other because that was a commission paint, but effectively what we want to do is just be very careful, cover the entire thing. So we're going to cover all of the back and the shoulder plates. We are not going to do the chest. We're going to paint that a different colour. I'm going to paint that in greys and use it sort of like bluish, sort of like different greys, and then this is going to be like bluish greys, and that's the intention. So I've painted the top side and I've painted the underside, but I don't like the underside, and I'm not going to wash it. Even though if I wash it, I don't think it's going to look that great. So I'm going to go over with it with Cantor Blue as well. Again, you know, not too many layers of that much of an issue. I painted it very lightly, as you can see. It would have required a second coat as it is. So we're just going to go over with Cantor Blue, and then the highlights will be over the top, and the dark lights will be underneath. Right, so I have done Dark Reaper along the edges. I'm not going to do it underneath. I'm just going to wash that with a blue glaze. There's the Dark Reaper. I'm doing the I'm doing the chitinous armour very similarly to how I do my Turanids, which, as you can see, like that. So just along the sort of tail edges there. So what I will do next, layering it up, is do it with Thunderhawk Blue, and then finish it off at the very tail end with Fenrisian Grey. And then on the underneath, I'm just going to wash it with some, Gilliman Blue, not Gilliman Blue, whatever the glaze is. And that's that. We're going to stop painting the inside of the mouth. Down here, I'm just going to stop painting that with Scream Pink, in this gap here, down on the joints and on the tongue as well. I'll keep this black for the inside of that mouth. I need to touch up those bits as well. But it's coming along quite nicely. Then along here, along these edges, I'm just going to start with some Doomwall Brown. So I have also painted some rocks that are grey on all of these, as well as doing them Monfort Brown. I'll paint them Dawnstone, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash all of this with Nolzur to give some black effect. So next we'll move on to these these fine edges. I'm going to move on to a much smaller brush, and effectively we're just going to start just along the edges here for all these details. And on the the main body, we're just going to do a little fine edging like this. Then when we do the Fenrisian Grey, we'll do even less, and then that will really bring out these colours. Right, so there it is. There's all of that done. Next is going to be Fenrisian Grey, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some Altdorf Blue along this edging as well, and along around the teeth. And I'm going to do some on the underneath as well, which I think is going to really help. I've painted the tongue, and next I'm going to paint it pink horror, and then I will highlight it with some Screamer pink, some Emperor's Children. I also painted the eyes, some Avalon Sunset, which I will up increase in colour soon as well. But that's it. The black wash is just sitting in there nicely, and I'm going to do a second coat of that as well. So there's the edging on the front and face. So next we move on to the back. We'll need a small brush with the tiniest amount, and then all we're doing is just doing the tiniest edging. So there's the start. We'll come back once I've done the whole thing. So I've updated the eyes and done some Uriel yellow, making them much brighter. As you can see, I've done the edging on the tongue and down the edges here as well with Screamer pink. The back is all entirely done now. Just the edges. I've done dried bark on the on the claws, which I'm also going to wash with Agric Earth shade. And then I will highlight them up with a bit of Gauthor brown, just for a bit extra. But that is it. That is the thing pretty much done. Need a little bit of a black line on its eyes, and just to finish off these claws. I will finish that off, and I will show you it completed at the end. There's the second layer of the Nuln oil too, so it's just darkened all of that up. So once it's in, it's quite spectacular bursting out of there. Right, and here it is, finished. The claws, and the whole thing. The eyes are complete. There's the back. If you'd like to check out my video on Vox Machina, the Vox Machina minis that I did, that will show also another way of how I've done the Bulette's armour. But this is it. I hope you found this useful. I hope you've enjoyed the vid. Wish you luck. Hit me up a like, hit me up a sub. Thank you very much.